What's happening? Andy here. I am joined today by John Villegas, and I am joined by Tina LeBlanc of Sharp Electronics. John is with Elatec. How are you guys doing today?
Great.
Good, Andy. Great.
Good to see
For
you
chatting
both.
with
Good to
us.
see you both. Let's start with you, Tina. You are with Sharp Canada. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, Sharp Electronics of Canada. We have a long history dating all the way back to 1912, starting out with some interesting technology for back then, which is the snap belt buckle. And fast forwarding to today, where the Sharp focus is really on the smart office space. I think at this point, we've got some really diverse products that will really fit into every corner of the office. And right now, we're really positioning ourselves to help businesses kind of come back into the office space post-COVID in a safe and sort of tactful way. In 16 years at Sharp, I've really seen Sharp's focus in research and development on making products more powerful and easier to use. And I think some of what we'll cover today will kind of bring to light some of those innovations.
Well, awesome. Good to hear from you. And you are you're outside of Toronto. Is that correct?
I am. Yeah, not much snow on the ground yet, but we're here in Canada, and yeah, happy to be talking to some of the American folks today.
Well, I'm right across the lake from you, literally, probably 30, 40 miles, and we do have snow, so you sent a little bit our way. It looks COVID related. You guys look like you're at your office right now, yeah?
Yeah, I'm at the office. We've sort of done a strategic approach where we've got the company kind of split in half. So we're kind of back and forth between home and the office. So it is nice and quiet coming in here, but it's nice to come in and hang out with the technology, even if it's only a week here and there.
Well, your holiday decorations look wonderful. Very excited to see those. They obviously match the nice red Sharp logo behind you. Let's change gears and talk to that young man that's patiently waiting. John, how are you? Where are you? You're in your location. You're in Florida, yes?
That's correct. So our headquarters is here in Palm City, Florida. So no, but it's cold. We're in the deeps of winter right now. It's today the high was 57, and we're going to go down to 37. So that is brutally cold for Florida.
I don't know how you guys do it. So you are actually in. I've been down to your offices a couple times, but not these offices. Correct? You're in new offices now, so I'm seeing the new office.
That's correct, Andy. So we just probably about maybe 4 months ago or so, we moved to a new location. That is because Elatec is now bringing production into the U.S. So we have actually a facility that's 3 times the size, and we have so far hired 2 production people, and we're expecting to hire 2 more. So we are going to be assembling and building the readers in the U.S. And we've already began to do that.
Always great to hear manufacturing coming, spreading out and getting a little closer to the point of need, especially when it comes back to the States. So congratulations on that. That's great news. Actually, that's old news, right? We covered that about a week or 2 ago, and there's no coincidence why we have the 2 of you here today on the show. So Tina, why don't you tell us what's the big news? Why am I talking to the 2 of you today?
Yeah, so Sharp has some super exciting news. We're announcing our mutual partnership with Elatec, the RFID company, and we're excited to kind of bring them on board. We've got some great features that we're really trying to target for a touchless print solution and some of our other features that tie into our print products. We've just released the news to our channels nationally across Canada. So exciting day with exciting news to kind of discuss today.
So touchless, right? That's got to have some benefits today. Yeah, I can imagine a few companies are out there looking at opportunities to maybe keep people from touching things, and so that ties into the RFID technology, obviously, that Elatec is known for. You had, Elatec's not the only company out there. What was it about Elatec that made you think, Sharp Canada and Elatec would be a good partner? How do their products complement, what you guys are doing with the smart office and, some of the new technology you have around Synapse and some of the other software platforms that you're working on?
Yeah, so I mean, at the very root of things, we were looking at a really inexpensive solution to help businesses of all scales provide safety in the office space. So Elatec was a natural choice in that they're flexible. Their reader technology will support not only the larger scale companies that have building access systems with proximity cards and fobs, but they'll also tie into mobile devices for release as well. So in combination of our new firmware that provides that touchless release feature at no cost, it was a no-brainer kind of partnering with Elatec because of their technology, both in regards to feature set and tying into all sizes of businesses, as mentioned.
Well, very exciting news. John, why don't you maybe focus a little bit on your side of it? So how does the relationship with Sharp Canada, how does that align with your business strategies? I know Elatec is a global company. I've been out to your facilities in Germany probably 3 times at this point. You've got, whenever I go there, it's a global meeting. There's people from literally dozens of countries all over the world, not just Europe, not just, North America, but Asia. And so, how does the Canadian market, how does Sharp Canada, how does that fit into what you guys are doing?
Sure. So as you know, Andy, it is quite large in Europe, and the Elatec being originally formed in Europe, they have strong relationships, and one of the strong relationships they have is Sharp in Europe. So having that relationship, we already were aware of what Sharp was doing. And to me, Sharp has always been an innovator in a lot of technologies. And recently going on to their website and looking at information, I noticed that their philosophy is very much in sync with what we're trying to do. We noticed that they're very focused on a smarter and healthier office, and they're very concerned about the high-touch surfaces, which of course is the MFP devices and printers and copiers. And that is the exact same philosophy and scenario that we find ourselves in. Our business has completely changed in the past 9 to 10 months now, and we have been trying to promote our card readers and our business to focus on those key areas as well, because it's the moving in a direction of contactless is absolutely critical at this point. And I noticed when I began my conversations with Tina, we were absolutely synced, and we were talking about the same exact thing. So it just made a natural development in this relationship, and we established it based on the same concerns of both parties. So it was just really a natural fit.
Well, it's funny you say, and we kind of touched on it earlier, but the last 9-10 months, that's pushed us, all of us, right, down different paths, introduced us to new people, new technologies, new types of solutions that may not have mattered so much in the past, or that we may not have focused on. But now you're looking at COVID, you're looking at different things, opportunities in healthcare. We talked a little bit before the call about protocols in Canada. Can you maybe elaborate a little bit on that? I'm sure that's got a little bit of a tie-in to why Elatec and how the RFID technology is going to fit in with what you're doing, especially with what's going on in the current COVID environment.
Yeah, for sure. So Andy, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there when you're talking about those high touch surfaces. So, I mean, that's definitely a concern, kind of looking around your traditional office space and trying to think about, different ways of keeping people safe that are starting to come back to work, or even looking at that hybrid workspace. Like, I don't think that type of working will change even post-COVID. I think businesses are really evolving and fast because of what's happening with the pandemic today. So I think safety would be one thing that the businesses are really thinking about. The other thing is really security that's come front and center. Again, with that hybrid workspace with users kind of remoting in from home. We even have some companies that are accessing print products with users at home. They're leveraging their network to be able to submit print jobs, and then the businesses are scheduling days for employees to come into the office and then securely release their jobs. So the solution ties in there nicely as well. And again, as mentioned, is it being such a solution that is cost effective? I think with businesses looking at ways to tighten the purse strings, through these tough economic times, it's something that's really digestible for businesses big and small.
Well, you definitely raised one of the major issues before all of this happened, right? Which is, and our industry has been very successful at, at addressing this and looking at opportunities, which is security, right? Every day you would look online, or you'd see in the news that some major company got hacked or malware or worse. And so we're all trying to be more secure. And in the middle of trying to batten everything down, everybody, half the world goes home, or more than that. And so you've got people working in dual locations and multiple locations. John, security has always been a big part of the Elatec approach, right? And RFID kind of fits really nicely into that. Why don't you talk a little bit about maybe Sharp's security and what was it that may have made your RFID solution such a nice fit for Sharp?
Well, it goes back to the contactless approach and the healthier office space, the hands-off type of approach. And my discussions with Tina started focusing around a lot about the mobile opportunities, smartphone solutions, the fact that our mobile Bluetooth applications can run in the background without anybody to physically have to pull out an RFID card or touch anything. Tina shared with me the fact that you could make print management solutions release all print jobs upon approach, which means is you basically can, let's say you have a BLE running on your mobile device and it's set to a certain range, you can just approach the machine, it authenticated and release its jobs without you ever taking anything out of your pocket or touching anything. So things like that just made a lot of sense in the security and the hygiene aspect of this, as this is really.
And RFID fits into this, right? So maybe just explain a little bit of why inherently RFID is such a great technology for this approach. You were working on secure print and this type of approach well before the pandemic.
Sure. So the beauty of it is that we are an RFID company. We're not really a Bluetooth company or anything like that. We're an RFID company. But we had already began a couple of years ago to incorporate Bluetooth into our readers. So we've only added the Bluetooth capability into our readers. So basically, essentially, we're able to offer 60 plus RFID technologies and include NFC and Bluetooth in one reader. So we're not really ever giving up anything. We're just adding and incorporating more technologies and more functionality into our readers.
That is amazing. Very cool. It's definitely a technology that is, it requires some specialty training, and I've learned quite a bit about it. It is definitely something that dealers can take advantage of. Let's focus on the rollout. How does this go, and is this a complicated setup? Is this something that you need to have, high-level IT people on board? Is this something? How does the rollout go, Tina? What was it about Sharp that you thought maybe these are solutions that are going to fit in with what we want?
Yeah, so I think a couple of things there. I mean, number one, just for the ease of rollout for our technicians, a feature that I really love that John kind of brought to the table was the fact that after the readers get installed at a later date, if you ever need to do an update or flash the readers, instead of sending a tech back on site and having the machine taken apart, there's some different ways of remotely doing that, or even using sort of a programmed card where you can just tap it over the reader that's built into the machine. So nice safety piece there, and a real time saver for technicians. The other piece that I really liked was how flexible and easy things were from the user's perspective. I mean, today we're living in a BYOD world. Everybody's got a mobile device. So the nice thing about the reader is that it provides the user choices. With the reader that we've installed here in the showroom, we have it programmed to use both our proximity fobs that we use to get into the building, as well as mobile devices. So it's up to the end user's choice, what they're more comfortable with and what technology they're carrying around with them. So I really like that. And then as far as the setup piece, if we're talking about the BYOD, it's a simple download from either Google Play or the Apple App Store onto the mobile device, and you're pretty much set up and ready to go. So nice and easy from the perspective of both install and from usage.
So John, that's been one of the things that I've heard at the multiple Elatec meetings that I've been to, is just the setup is a snap and it's simple. And Tina just kind of came to your added some credibility there, talking about how that was one of the things they liked about it. But why don't you get into a little bit more about how easy that really is, and what kind of load that takes off of an IT department or a dealer?
Yes, that is extremely important, although I want to emphasize the fact that a lot of times the biggest difficulty we have is whether our end user or our customer that has the high level technical people or the analysts trained to that level where we're able to do a training and they're able to grasp the technology and understand it, and then we can move to the next level of training. That was the beauty with our meetings with Sharp. Tina's crew is really high level trained, and we went through 2 or 3 training sessions, and we got all the way to be able to do remote configurations, to do Bluetooth both credential and non-credential based. We were able to do all that stuff and all that training just because of the level of the people that she has on staff. That to us is always the most difficult piece, because you never know what your audience, at what level they're at. However, we do feel that we have tremendous abilities and tremendous tools here at Elatec, but the emphasis always relies on the customer and their capability of comprehending and taking on your technology. But that was really the beauty of this effort that we did together. I was really impressed.
Well, Sharp's always been in play with Elatec. I know about a year ago, John, we were both at that, and you were probably at that as well, Tina, the dealer meeting down in out in where was that, in Las Vegas, right? So it's been about a year, and in the middle of all this, you got a company who's located in Florida, representing, as a subsidiary of a larger company coming out of Germany, and they're signing deals with a company in Canada. And it's amazing to me, none of you got together to do this. There were no physical meetings. It was all done, probably via video conferences like that. And you develop this partnership without actually ever setting foot in the same room together. So, way to figure things out. And it's probably easy for a lot of companies right now to just sit still and say, well, we've got to, slow things down until we figure things out. But clearly the two of you are both moving right ahead. I know Sharp's been coming out with one thing after another over the last couple of months. It's been very busy with launches with hardware and software. And John, we talked earlier in this about the announcement you just had. So kudos to both of your companies for the work you've been doing. I'm gonna wrap this up. I'll give you guys one last shout out to everybody else, and thank you both for taking the time to come out here and talk about the announcement. We're gonna run this at the same time that the announcement drops online. So a nice compliment to that. Thank you very much for including me in the loop on this. Tina, why don't you lead off? Any last words or any last information about either the program or the Sharp or anything? Your dealers?
Yeah, I think we covered it all. Thanks so much for your time today, Andy. It was great chatting with you. John, thanks so much. Your team has been so supportive through this whole thing. I think that's really reflective of the way that Sharp likes to sort of communicate and partner with customers. So really your company is reflective of our stance in that respect as well. To everyone else out there, thanks for watching. Stay safe, and hopefully we chat soon.
Yes. John, same to you, buddy.
Yeah, once again, thank you, Andy, for covering this. It's always great to see you. I've known you for quite a long time, and it's always a pleasure. And to Tina, thank you for making this as easy as it has been. It is a pleasure to work with a company at your level of professionalism. And one thing that I could say is I think COVID has taught us how to do business more intelligently. And this is an example of that. As you mentioned, it's only been done through these remote sessions. However, they're used more, they're used in a way to really develop something and really build upon. So I've been very grateful for that, and I really appreciate the opportunity to work with you, Tina. And I'm looking forward to the future.
These meetings, it's a necessary evil at this point, right? So let's not to say down the road we don't want to get back to the real meetings. And people in Germany who are from Elatec listening, we're still wanting to come to Oktoberfest. We've had to reschedule that a couple of times now, and so we're looking forward to that. So no canceling meetings for Zoom once we get the vaccines going. But certainly it has been helpful. It has been great talking to the two of you. Congratulations on this partnership, and I look forward to covering it down the road. Take care, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.